Hi, I'm David Brannen, managing lawyer and founder here at Resolute Legal. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, how does long-term disability work? After watching this video, you'll have a broad understanding of how long-term disability works from a broad overview perspective, and hopefully it will clarify your situation and you can move forward with confidence. If you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us your comments. We'd love to get comments down below. Now let's get into it. So how does long-term disability work? Well, the first thing to know is that long-term disability refers to situations where a benefits provider is going to pay out benefits, income replacement benefits, to eligible workers. So the key here is that long-term disability usually refers to situations where workers are going to get compensation for not being able to work anymore. So if you've never worked, usually long-term disability is not going to work to cover your situation. So there are three big programs in Canada that deal with long-term disability, and I'm going to go through how all of these programs work because they have a lot of similarities. Number one, we have long-term disability insurance policies and plans. That's your group benefit plans, and those are your individual policies that people buy. Number two, you have CPP disability, and number three, you have workers' compensation. So how do all these programs work? They're very similar. Number one, they all focus on eligible workers, and you have to be a worker to access these benefits. So if you've never worked, you're not going to be able to access any of these benefits, and you have to be a recent worker in most cases to access these benefits. Number two, each of these programs is going to have eligibility requirements, but just understand that you have to meet the eligibility requirements for benefits under these programs. Number three, with each of these programs, you have to file an application for benefits. It's called filing a claim sometimes, or an injury report. There's different words for it, but you have to actually fill out paperwork, send it into the benefits provider, and that's how you start the process. Number four, the next part is that once they get your application, they do something called adjudication. Now with adjudication, that means they're going to compare your application with the eligibility requirements of the program, and they will decide, but they meaning someone at the benefits provider, they'll decide if you meet those criteria or not. And if they decide you meet the criteria, they will approve your claim and pay out monthly benefits to you. If they decide that you don't meet the criteria, that takes us to number five, which is appeals. So if you get a decision back from one of these benefit providers that you don't qualify for long-term disability and you disagree with it, you can go ahead with an appeal. And each of these programs has an appeal process. Some of them are more formal than others, but they all involve you basically submitting more information, clarifying things, and having them review it and make a new decision. And lastly, number six, once you have done these appeals and with the benefits provider, if they continue to say no, all of these programs have the kind of built in that the final decision on whether you get benefits or not is with a third-party decision maker. Third party means it's not you, it's not them, it's somebody completely disinterested and not connected at all with the program. In most cases, it'll be a judge. In other cases, it can be a tribunal member, or it can just be an arbitrator or something like that. But there will be an outside decision maker who makes the final decision on whether you qualify for benefits. You have to have a disability that is at a level of disability that they define as meeting the criteria of the program. Quite often that's going to mean your disability is at a level that at least prevents you from doing your own work, sometimes from doing any type of job, but that's going to be something common with all of these programs. All of them require a waiting period. What that means is that you will have to prove that you have been continuously disabled and unable, you've met their definition of disability for a minimum amount of time before you're even eligible to apply. That can be anywhere from 4 months to 6 months, but that is the general range that you're going to look at, sometimes longer with workers' compensation. And finally, all of these programs as an eligibility requirement includes that you have to have paid premiums or paid into the plan in some way, and that you are up to date on making your payments into the plan or paying it into, in the case of CPP, you've made your contributions into the program, that you're up to date on that you've made recent contributions, and that is a requirement to still have this benefit in place. Now, each of them will treat this slightly differently, but the general idea is that you have to be actively paying into these programs or have paid in recently in order to qualify for benefits. That's all on this for now. Hopefully you understand now what is involved and how long-term disability works. But if you have further questions, put them down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. We'll see you back here next time.